Hello everybody, I am Durga Prasad Neelakant, Chartered Accountant practicing at Hyderabad. This video explains about how to complete 100% complete the TDS income tax transaction. Especially I will what is the meaning of 100% completion of TDS transaction. I will give one example and thereafter I will explain the income tax rules. One of my clients is having their customers across India. They are having their customer base in 29 states and union territories also. They are giving software service to schools. Almost that company is a service company to the schools. So all their customers are schools and they are deducting TDS at 1%. That company is owned by a proprietor. So and they are having group companies also, so few partnerships also. So the school management or school accountants or school principals are deducting 1% of their bill on the payments to that proprietary company, and they are deducting 2% from the bill amount on the payments to the partnership firms. And this is the first step, deduction of income tax. TDS means tax deducted at source. So all the schools on their each invoice they are deducting 1% or 2% from the for their service providers. So that is the part 1, step 2, that is the step 1. And now step 2 is all the schools are they are called deductors as per income tax law. They are paying that deducted amount into the bank in the form of a challan called TDS challan number 281. So they will select an appropriate code. They deduct, if they deduct TDS from their employees, they use code 92B, that is deduction from employees. So code 94C for contractors like Googleplex Academy and professionals, engineers, chartered accountants, advocates, etc. They are deducting 10% under code 94J. For rent also there is a code, that is 94I. The relevant sections in income tax are 92B for deduction from employees, section 194C for deduction from contractors, section 194J for deduction from employees, section 194I deduction from rental payment. These are the sections, and if one number is removed from section, code will become, which is we have to write on the challan. So for payment of TDS challan, PAN is not required. All the schools they have to get TDS number, TAN number, tax deduction account number, that is separately we have to apply to the income tax department. That is called form 49B. Form 49A is for application for permanent account number, that is PAN number. Form 49B is for allotment of application for allotment of tax deduction account number. So this TAN number will be allotted by the income tax department. Thereafter only we can pay TDS challans deducted from our service providers or deducted from service providers of schools or colleges or other institutions. That is the step 2. So all the schools and their associated companies, and they are paying TDS challan on the name of schools or educational society under which all these schools are running. There are many schools. So when TDS challan is paid by challan number 281, that 281 challan contains name of the school or name of the educational society, address of the educational society, nature of payment, that is deduction from contractors, deduction in respect of rent, deduction in respect of salaries, etc. So the amount paid by the school or educational society is accepted by the bank, and that bank remits the amount paid by the school to the income tax department within 1 or 2 days. Bank will accept money, deduct money from the schools immediately from their account or accept cash, but within 1 or 2 days that money will be deposited into income tax department on the name of school or educational society mentioned in the challan number 281. It is relevant to note here carefully that challan number 281 does not contain particulars of the contractors or building owners or professionals. That challan number 281 contains only details of the school or educational society, not the details of service provider. So the bank will remit entire money paid by the school or educational society to the income tax department. Then that money reflects in the school or educational society income tax PAN account. PAN number is nothing but it is like a bank account. When we have bank account and we deposit money in the bank, our account shows our credit balance, that is our balance in the bank. Similarly, income tax department maintains similar to bank account on the basis of PAN card or PAN number. So all the money, whatever money is paid by the school or educational society or other institution is deposited by way of challans, self-assessment tax challan, advance tax challan, TDS challan, etc. is deposited in the concerned school or educational institution permanent account number based account. So entire money, whatever by mistake or if any mistake in challan, that is entire money will go to their account only. There is no question of misappropriation of funds by the income tax or misappropriation of funds by bank, etc. That issue will not arise. Next, suppose a school or college deducted 1 lakh rupees or 10,000 rupees, for example we say 10,000 rupees from Googleplex Academy and deposited in the bank by way of challan number 281. Challan number 281 contains only school or educational society name and address. So challan number 281 will not contain details of some other service provider. So money paid by the school or society will go to bank. Thereafter it will be transferred to the income tax department, and it will lay in the account of the school or society only. Then how to transfer that money from income tax department school account to academy income tax account? Then there is another step, that is called quarterly form 26Q, 26, 24Q, 27, etc. forms are there. These forms are quarterly forms. Whenever we deduct income tax from customers, we have to, that deductor has to deposit deducted money in the first week of the subsequent month. Every month from 1st to 30th or 1st to 31st, that 1 month period, they have to deduct from various persons, maybe 1 person or 10 persons or 100 persons. So from 1st to 30th or 31st, they have to deduct from various persons and accumulate in the school or society or some other institution in the deductor in the bank or in the form of cash. That is not an issue. So that entire money we have to, that deductor has to accumulate and pay subsequent on or before 7th of that subsequent month. Suppose now we are in August, the TDS amount deducted from service providers from 1st July to 31st July, 31 days, that deductor has to accumulate all the money and he has to deposit challan on or before 7th August. So if accounts are ready, they can pay challan on 1st August itself. Otherwise, they can take 1 week time. They can pay 7th of the August. So for the similarly, for the deductions made in the month of August from 1st August to 31st August, the entire amount is to be deposited in the form of a single challan in the month of 1st September, first week, in between 1st September to 7th September. That is the procedure. So this is the deduction of tax and remittance to the bank and from bank to income tax office. That is the 2 steps. And third step is quarterly. The school or educational society or any other deductor has to give this challan details and deductors details, deductors PAN number to their chartered accountant or some other tax consultant or a senior accountant. Then they will file Form 24 quarterly Q. Form 24Q means quarterly 24. Form 24 used to transfer school or any other deductor money to the employee's account. And, that is part 1. Next, Form 26Q. This is for contractors and rent, commission, professional, like any other, we can say residuary form. Form 24Q is quarterly form for exclusively for salaries. For all other payments, there are 20 types of payments are there. Generally, only 4-5 are applicable to schools and general deductors, just like payments to contractors, payments to landlord or building owner, payments to professionals like auditors, etc., advocates, doctors, or engineers. That is majorly 3 heads are there. Some other minor heads are also, very rare heads are also there. So for all those payments, it is Form 26Q, quarterly form. This suppose how to file Form 26Q. First financial year starts from 1st April to 31st March of the subsequent year. First 3 months, April, May, June are called first quarter, and July, August, September is called second quarter. October, November, December are called third quarter. Then January, February, March of the subsequent year is called fourth quarter. This form, after this challan number 281 has to be paid every month. April deductions, in the deductions related to April month are to be paid in the month of May. Deductions related to May month are to be paid in June first week, and deductions related to June month are to be paid in first week of July. Then all these data, 3 months data, and along with challans and deductees details, etc., has to be given to auditor or any other relevant professional in the month of July first week after payment of this third challan. Then the chartered accountant or auditor or some other relevant person will file Form 26Q with the income tax department. That Form 26Q is nothing but it is a request to income tax department that we have paid 3 challans, sub 10,000 or what may be some amount from so and so persons. Please transfer that bulk amount to different persons as per our data we are submitting in Form 26Q. That is the meaning of Form 26Q. Then this form is electronic form. We cannot file manual form with the income tax department. We have to file by electronic mode only. Then when income tax department receives this request from the school or any other deductor, they will transfer monies, amounts, funds lying in the school or deductor account to individual contractor's account as per the data contained in Form 26Q. Then within one week, income tax department will divide the money and transfer to respective contractors or building owner or professionals. That is the process. So in our client case, all the schools are deducting money and they are paying challan in the bank by way of payment of challan number 281. This entire money is depositing in income tax department in the respective school account. But after that they are not submitting Form 26Q showing the details of the deductees, and they are simply ignoring that final step. Then entire money, lakhs of rupees, is lying in school accounts only. That money is not transferring every year to the, in my client case, every year they are losing 4-5 lakhs rupees. This the schools are deducting and they are paying in the bank. That bank is transferring their money to the respective school accounts, but due to non-filing of Form 26, Academy is not receiving that money from school account in income tax academy in income tax department. That transfer is not happening. This will happen only when Form 26Q is filed by the respective schools. There are 200-300 schools are customers academy. All are doing the same mistakes. Only very few are filing Form 26Q. This is the problem. So every year, since last 10 years, the loss of academy is around 10 to 15 lakhs. That money is paid by the schools. It is standing in the account of the schools in income tax department. Academy is not able to recover from income tax department because they are not transferring by way of Form 26Q. So this is the process. When deductor pays challan, that is not at all sufficient. Every quarterly, deductor has to file Form 26Q. That is the time limit for filing Form 26Q is 1 month. Suppose for the first quarter, for the period April, May, June, due date for filing Form 26Q is 31st July. Thereafter, per day 200 rupees penalty is there. So for second quarter, for the period July, August, September, due date for filing Form 26Q is 31st October. After 31st October, for each day 200 rupees penalty is mandatory penalty. So keeping in view that money belongs to deductees, not the deductors' money. They are deducting. They need not remit. They are not authorized to hold for an indefinite period. They have to pay every month. That is deducted by the deductor. Money belongs to deductee, and that money has to be remitted immediately to the income tax department. Deductor cannot hold just like a interest-free loan. For that purpose only, heavy penalty is imposed on non-filing of 26Q. So similarly for the third quarter period, October, November and December, due date for filing Form 26Q is 31st January. Thereafter, every day 200 penalty will attract. For fourth quarter, January, February, March period, due date is generally April 30th, but this is the fourth quarter. Some auditing, etc., internal auditing, statutory auditing is due for fourth quarter onwards. So 1 month extra due date is provided. Instead of April 30, 31st May is the last date for filing Form 26Q for fourth quarter. 1 month extra time is. So thereafter 200 rupees per day penalty is attracted. So such a stringent provisions are there. Criminal prosecution is also there. Now this is not only a civil tort. Civil mistake means it is called as tort. It is not only a tort, it is a crime also. Even income tax department can register a criminal case and do prosecution. That prosecution is also there. That income tax department is going soft on deductors. That is a very dangerous provision also. Even they can levy up to 1 lakh rupees penalty on each quarter. That is 4 lakhs rupees per annum. They can levy penalty. They can impose penalty and as well as prosecution on each school or educational society. That is the problem we are facing with tedious delays and negligence. So recently I have received a call from one principal from New Delhi. Tried to explain, but that principal madam was very busy. She gave me only 1 minute time. In 1 minute I explained her. So I got doubt in 1 minute. That principal whether understood properly or not. Therefore, I am giving this detailed video for the benefit of other institutions. So if any doubts are there, I think that I have explained very elaboratively. So still, if you have any doubts, you can contact me on behalf of or their associated companies, or any are my clients. I have many clients. We are doing this TDS verification work for many of my clients. So this everybody can take this video as a guide and guide to your income tax issues and proceed accordingly. You can ask me any doubt if you have any doubt on my video. Thank you.